I think much better if we try to put on our mic.
We have a more quiet environment now.
Yes. So, hindi na siya katulad ng dati na medyo maingay doon sa lobby ng ano.
Alam na natin.
Yes.
We're not at the second floor anymore. We're not at the... Where were we?
Gateway.
Yeah, Gateway.
So,
Hello, we have 6 viewers in the house. Good afternoon.
Ayan. So, what we'll be doing today is that we're going to discuss yung mga feuds that's going on. It seems like
Sana hindi kami mag-away ni Jason after this episode. We have a feud. It's all about feud, di ba?
Yes.
We'll try not to fight each other.
Yeah, because that seems to be the theme of the...
Everybody's fighting. March is a fighting month. Like, everybody's like...
And it started like, is there like a Mercury in retrograde thing that's happening right now?
Possibly, or maybe Jupiter's like fighting its energy,
I
or
know.
Mars is Marsing more than ever.
It's kind of all over the place, right? I mean, from pageants to showbiz
To simple people, just like grappling, like
here.
we'll also
There's
talk-
mic.
Sige, we'll be talking a whole lot of things.
And then let's put
From-
my mic here. So, and
Hope you can hear us good.
so, yay. My mic is not my
Technical difficulties.
char. Ayan. I think that. So there we are. A little spice doesn't hurt anybody. Sabi ni Mark, ni Roscoe, a little spice doesn't hurt anybody.
Sure, we know spies more than anybody else.
Yes. So, where do we want to start the conversation? Should we start with the Bangkok issue,
Yeah,
where,
feud is everywhere. We'll be starting with the freshest feud there is.
which is
What happened in
the,
Thailand, unfortunately.
yeah, which is the, which is the tawag nito, which is the ladyboy issue between Thais and Filipinos there.
Trans Pinay versus trans community in Thailand
Yeah.
had been up in arms. This is not the pageant issue, but this is a significant part because members of the pageant community are also involved discussing
yeah.
up in arms about this. Thailand
Yeah.
and the Philippines are two of the biggest pageant fans in the world. We've been symbiotic with each other. I think Thai pageant pages and Filipino pageant pages has been going side by side for the past few years. We both love Miss Universe and ang laki ng pinagsasamahan natin. It's just sad that this happened over the weekend in Bangkok. Apparently, when one part harassed another group of people, it so happened that the community is so strong that they come up in arms, waited for the Filipino trans Pinays at their hotel, and then the squabble happened, even if the authorities were there. So,
Yeah. I think for me, this is a feud that was waiting to happen. I think that there is like a quiet animosity between the two pageant fandoms, and it
does.
might have just spilled with this situation. And also, I believe that this situation is something that should have been contained, should have been not blown out of proportion, because this is something that is non-pageant related.
exactly.
And I don't think that this issue between the Thai trans women versus the Pinoy trans women in Bangkok, this should have been something that was discussed out of the context of the pageantry world, because what happens is this is now become a fuel for bigger feuds between the Thai pageant fandom and the Philippine pageant fandom, and both fandoms are very vocal and are very passionate about pageantry. So
I think we need to point out where it's coming from. I
Yeah.
think Thai Sashes, one of the biggest pageant platforms from Thailand, is the one who's actually covering this side by side. Well, I get the intention, it's clear, but it's a legal thing. I think authorities in Bangkok are responsible over this. A lot of the Filipinos involved have been subjected to Thai laws and disciplinary actions. They're back in the Philippines, I've heard. Some of the investigation scenes points out that the Filipino, the trans Pinays actually were largely responsible for the squabble. Now, I think what does this teach us? Yun na lang, no? If you're going to other country, I think important that you know to read the room. I think Thailand has been a haven for many Filipinos who wants to experience the lively culture and tradition in the sense of community, especially for LGBTQIA plus communities, to have that freedom. And minsan siguro we get too comfortable. We tend to forget that this is not our land. This is their land.
Yeah.
Even if sometimes people will have subjective opinion or varying concern about you or certain groups, we need to learn to manage expectations, priorities, and how we adhere to this. Because this is very difficult. Because ang hirap nito because ang dami pupunta sa Thailand to make their dreams come true. And you know what I mean. This is their transition dreams and you know, to become full-fledged woman that they've always dreamed of. And I don't want this to jeopardize that opportunity. And other Filipinos also go to Thailand to attend the parties, you know. A lot of things. Not just in Soy 11, not just in Silong or in Patong. Or anywhere else that you want to go to. Pattaya. I love northern Thailand because of the culture and the temples. Like Chiang Mai, Chiang Rai, and all of these places. But you just don't want that to tarnish your reputation. And sadly, it paints us in the back.
And also, you know, you don't go to other countries and create, you know, a bad reputation for Filipino tourists there. I think that when we are in another country, we have to behave better and we have to behave well because we carry with us, you know, the Filipino flag. We are judged not as individuals, but we are judged as Filipinos wherever we go outside of our own country. And this is, you know, one of the largely reasons why I think that this issue needs to be addressed in a very delicate manner and in a professional way because, again, this is not a pageant issue, but it paints us badly.
It's a community issue.
Yes.
And it's a national identity
yes.
issue. And so, yun nga, the learning process. Total, marami naman sa ating mga trans-Pinay ancestors are part of the community.
Yeah.
So, we know when to act. And I see that the overwhelming turnout of support, especially from Filipinos, is different naman. It's dissenting opinion, some are varying, but I think the sense of reason is very high as of the moment.
Yeah.
So, yun, face the repercussions, and that the laws of Thailand dictate whatever outcome is much. Pero tayo, we can visit the countries we want to be. Let's, you know,
let's behave.
Let's exercise becoming better people.
Yeah. Okay. Now let's talk about the issue between Kunan and Paula Shugart.
Oh, the biggest feud that everybody wants.
Yes.
Ako talaga, I'd be a bit biased. You know, I grew up in a Miss Universe system where Paula Shugart was managing it. Even before Paula Shugart, I think we see 93, 94. I think it was still under the Catalina system.
It was actually under. I'm actually doing research on that because
the conglomerate that acquired Catalina in 94.
It's Procter and Gamble.
Procter and Gamble, yeah. Because I remember it was in passing through, but P&G at some point from 1977, I think, to 1994.
No,
it's 95.
No, it's 91 to 94. That's under Procter and Gamble, and then the previous one was under Gulf and something. Something.
But it's still the transition of acquisition. Because Catalina was dissolved somewhat 70s, no? And then the Gulf company took over.
There's even the Kaiser. There's even a Kaiser Roth era. I think that was in the right after the 1970s.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm still finishing up my research on that. So medyo ano pa siya.
Yun yung kagandahan niya because
that was the peak.
That was the peak. That was what we're used to. Yung mga little children era and like walking through. And then the Paula Shugart era is more of the what you call this, establishment of identity because prior to,
I think Paula became president at around 2000 or 2001.
I think Ross was saying 98, 99. Well, the era dictates differently as it was. So basically, Paula is in the middle of the Trump acquisition. So she came in the Trump acquisition, but Trump kasi kind of changed the ownership. Before, it's just the vision of women that we want to see. That's Miss Universe. That was till 1994. So you see the kind of women that's soft, feminine, embodies the value, womanhood, the woman you want to become, you idolize. By 1995, it's more like a vision of how woman is in the modern world.
Yeah.
Diba?
Because that was the post-feminist era,
Yeah, and it's
where
more
Miss
like-
Universe is trying to be more socially aware of its.
Pero at the same time, I believe there's a certain packaging of meron silang dictate, meron parang Miss Universe at the time still dictates what kind of women you wanna see.
Yeah.
I remember the Budweiser commercial putting Ahtisa Machado and Dayanara Torres back in the 90s. And all of that. So kita mo the vision, the shape, the way you stand. So it's been like that. It wasn't like trailblazing.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm gonna change the world kind of situation, which
Yeah.
happens, say, post 2012 era when Miss USA started becoming more outspoken,
Yeah.
more relevant. And then we had the Catrionas, we had the Sozis, and diba? We're like, achieving the global platform. So Paula was central to the idea of also honing our vision and our view of what a Miss Universe woman is all about. So the way we perceive the pageant system and the way we see it through is largely also to her management. That is why I also agree with her when she say that if you question, I mean, she's not a perfect person for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
But you don't question her and her management in totality. You find the faults in it. You justify the faults in it. You find cases and evidences, and then you discuss the matter publicly based on the evidences, not just in generalization, because that also undermines, yes, I agree, the winnings of all the women throughout her era. So it's like saying, so from Wendy Fitzwilliam to Shanice, all of these women are tainted, diba?
Yeah.
Parang, these are women of questionable wins, which is very much unfair because we've seen how this women, alam natin yan, we follow them from the national pageants, we follow them, we analyze their chances pre-pageant, seems to eating down and onto the coronation and what they do after. And so, napaka-unfair if we just like invalidate all of that just simply because you are not comfortable, you're not feeling well with it, and you're a newcomer. Even if Kunan owns the organization, she's a newcomer in the system. You can pretend that you know everything at once, even if you're the millionaire investor. That is why even the former owners of the pageant gives the responsibility of operations to the lead core that used to be in the system. Donald Trump never decide, hey, I want this, that. She wants certain girls. He has the Trump picks, but that's just about it. He will not say, this is how I want the pageant to be. The cut will be, this will be the top 10, 20, 20 or 15 or 5, whatever that may be. But the guidance is still with the people who manages it. And I think right now, that's where the craft is.
On my end,
How
from a
good
business
management?
perspective, I think there is a reason why Paula probably was kicked off from the organization. And this is something that I have observed since the acquisition of the IMG, wherein maybe because of her age, maybe because of her experience, maybe because she is so set in her ways in terms of her management style.
Or changing values then.
Probably the things that she was doing in the 2000s is no longer effective in the 2010s leading into the 2020s during the post-pandemic and post-pandemic era of the pageant.
Yes.
So she probably isn't the right fit anymore for the organization, and she probably needs to go. My problem with the entire issue is that it was aggravated by Kunan's, way of speaking in her ideas, her thoughts about certain opinions, opinions based on what she knows from within the organization.
business
On the
style
end,
also, no?
on the end of Paula, I think that in terms of maybe financial management of the pageant, there was an issue there. There's something that needs to be looked at because Miss Universe became financially unviable
To be
during her
honest,
time.
To be honest, the last 6-7 years
Exactly.
was not profitable for the organization.
Exactly.
That's fair.
So, as an owner, I understand Kunan's, alert and shocked with what's going on. However, this does not give either parties to be nasty on social media.
I think
With regards to the
if Kunan
to
really
the
sees irregularities and there's the courts.
there is a forum. I agree.
Sanay naman sila na
There's a place where you can say your piece,
Yes.
especially if it's a piece that can be damaging to someone's reputation, like the alleged rants. However, going back to the alleged rants, Kunan did not mention any names. That's the thing. She did not. So there is a assumption from Paula Shugart that it was her that Kunan is talking about, which everyone believes that it is indeed her.
Americans take no bullshit. So they would call it, if that's me, that's me. Diba? It's just like the mean girl attitude.
Yeah.
You're talking shit about me, then let's put a fight on you. So maybe yun yung attempt, ganun na
But
tinato.
you know, for on my end, I've discussed this in a separate live stream discussion. I see faults on both leadership. I see that there are things that should have been done in the quiet space, in private, because these are things that you don't want to spill out in public, because it damages not their reputation but the reputation of the Miss Universe organization. And that is something that Paula has built, that has worked hard and built for the past 20 years of her.
But I mean, let's be honest, between Paula and Kun, Paula has more investment in this, more than if Anne just have put in money. I don't think it still warrants the fact that she doesn't know much about how this whole thing works. Her understanding is basically on ako as I see it, on a fan base point of view.
Yeah.
But hindi niya naintindihan how all of these things work. What value does the org puts out there, and sense of belief and identity that the pageant platform has been putting out for women from all over the world. So I think that's where it lies. Ako, to be honest, her inclusion in the organization is doing more damage more than ever. I think it's high time to, kung makahanap siya ng, just let go. She needs to sell the Miss Universe system before it damages everything and we're left with nothing else. I think it's now high time. If Raul Rocha is the one who's going to take charge of it, well, let a Latino know anyone better than this. So let it be. Diba?
But then again, I don't think she's willing to let go.
Because, again, let's be honest, egotistically speaking, you will not accept the fact that, hey, it failed under me. But do you want to be the last person to see things crumble and like it leaving you the sands of time in your hands? Like, ikaw ba talaga yung tao? Sa akin nasira. Ako yung huling nakakita ng krimen. Ako yung dumurog sa organization. Gusto ko ba yun?
Yeah, exactly.
Siyempre ako, I would leave while it's better.
But the thing is, who's the next best option? Because right now, pageants in the European and the American markets is not a thing.
A few American brands would buy it out.
Like which one? Because from my...
Biglang nilang taasan yung tingin sa sarili nila. Because maybe I think they're selling it too high when in fact the value is too low.
Exactly.
Alam mo,
because looking at the Miss Universe organization, back when it was, let's say, part of the Procter & Gamble na conglomerate, they have support from advertisers, because Procter & Gamble have a lot of products that they can use to peddle the pageant. There's a lot of sponsorship that they can have with that. And then when it was under Donald Trump, then you have the Trump Models organization. And then Donald Trump did a very smart move of selling half of the pageant to NBC Universal, which made the pageant a little
because
bit...
they wanted a TV show format. Pero feeling ko, it could be in a sense of, you can go back to that old business model. For example, a beauty brand like Fenty, who embraces diversity, would be a right partner for this. Once they sell 30% of that to that organization. Then you have a media partner, small organizations such as Roku, or Telemundo naman. They're like the ones na pwede mag-produce ng content on a smaller scale to maintain the visibility online and on air, and then just keep it there. So say another 30%, so you remain with 40%. That could be owned with another conglomerate who can manage all of that. I think North American companies would still like that.
Do you have any companies in mind? Because right now I'm drawing a blank here.
I don't know yet, but based on purpose and repackaging, you would understand. Say if I don't know if Procter & Gamble would gonna buy that again. I don't know if CoverGirl would be interested, but I think CoverGirl maybe belongs to a major, di ba?
Yeah.
For example, Estee Lauder will not take charge, something like that. So any big, pero other companies that might.
Because it made sense for me when IMG bought it, because IMG
It's a modeling agency.
They have a modeling agency. They also have events. The reason why PA was able to walk with Cherry Hill, because the one who sponsors the New York Fashion Week is actually IMG. They own New York Fashion Week, so they are the ones. So that is the reason why you see Miss Universe, Miss USA, Miss Teen USA at the front row of designer
Which we will talk
fashion,
about later on. Speaking of the fashion
shows.
Mamaya na yan, because I know that's what you guys
Yes.
are doing. Pero
So I think in terms of business strategy, I don't think that pageants is a good investment for
I don't think
the American audiences. I think it's a dead industry
there's
in
hope.
the US.
If there's a revamp, there's hope. If there's a revamp that beauty brands can repurpose that to showcase whatnots, diba? Imagine mo, if it's a whole year deal,
if
tapos the
it's-
marketing would be internationalized through the women's representing. If we can come up with something like that.
If it's a I don't know, a skincare beauty brand, something like Sephora to that level, I think that might work.
Yeah, that's gonna work. Kaya naisip ko taga Fenty Beauty because I think that's the one na may equity, and I think multi-million brand siya. I think a media organization would help. I don't know about OWN, Tyler Perry Studios, or smaller ones.
I don't
and
think
these
so.
would likely will
I
not
think
take. The big three will not take it anymore.
There is if we are looking at it from a business perspective, I think the best arrangement for the Miss Universe organization is that it is going to be taken by a media conglomerate. Like for example, Paramount Pictures when it was owned by Kaiser Rock.
The best business models like RC and Miss Señorita
Yes.
Colombia system, or the Grupo Cisneros Miss Venezuela.
Yes.
That's how it is.
I think much like when Binibining Pilipinas is partnered with ABS-CBN.
Yeah, pero
so
not partially owned. I think Binibini has airing rights. But
Yeah.
yung Grupo Cisneros sa Venezuela, they own it talaga.
Yes.
They really own it. Like, yeah, they own it. They just put the queens in charge and Osmel at some point to take care of the
Daily
Casa
operation.
Rosada, because of the pink house of Miss Venezuela.
Yeah, La Quinta Venezuela.
Nakita Venezuela, di ba? The organization itself. Pero in general sense, it's the Grupo Cisneros who fund, who exposes, and then the beauty brand in Colombia and Venezuela were the ones that's mukha talaga nila, no? Everywhere.
Yes.
I remember.
And there's a lot of
Jolie ba? Jolie is the
Jolie Levogue.
Jolie Levogue is the beauty brand that
that is
Colombia.
that's sponsoring
Whole year.
Señorita Colombia.
Whole year. At saka total Colombian exposure yun. So
Okay,
dapat yun.
there's a comment here from Roscoe. He says, I don't think selling Miss Universe being sold to another American company would be a good idea. For example, look at how Miss USA is being handled. Secondly, 2 national directors later, and still Miss USA never really got her prizes.
It's
So
just
that's
that,
why.
Ako, I think it's a management thing. Kasi talagang second thought na si Miss USA. Pero nga back in the day when it was PNG, it was a total holistic approach. That's what we're looking for. Kailangan ko ng total conglomerate
Yeah.
to handle.
So I think the best business model for this one is someone who has the visibility of
Sell it
a
to us, Pinoys. Feeling ko pwede din.
Miss Universe.
Hindi, because in a Philippine handling, I think dito nagkamali si Kunan. Ang laki rin naman ng network ng fashion bases in Bangkok to go international. Hindi niya yung tinap. I think she's partnering with the wrong people. running the show. Example, if it's in the Philippines, and say your partner here links to, say, a company that owns, well, Vogue is not too big. I've heard, hindi naman siya big budgeted company. For example,
I think even Mega is even a bigger a
it's
bigger
the company that owns it.
Mega ba?
Mega Publishing Group.
Or Metro is
Metro
CABS,
CBS.
yes.
Yeah, so example, ganun yung base mo. No? So you have that media conglomerate or local network here, at hindi tayo titigil kasi nga ipat-ipat tayo. Look how we bring our stars to Hollywood, the fashion weeks again, talagang nilalapitan tayo.
Talagang nilalapitan tayo ng controversy.
The fashion weeks lately, and the partnership with the content that they've been doing all around the region. So, kung hindi ko man siya, Filipinos, pag nagsawa kayo sa Manila, go to Korea, that's easier, may tatanggap sa'yo.
Yeah.
We can bring people to the North American market, which we have a base. Europe and Middle East, di ba? So, it's a multi-partner. In terms of visibility and marketing, pwede. Maliliit yung partnership mo, pwede yun. I think Josh could even, Yugen.
Yes.
Something like his brilliance will also do
Yes.
a good management of an organization like that. Kasi feeling ko, may PR team kasi siya. Tapos kaya niyang kumuha ng macro brand on a regional basis. We need a manager like that.
Agreed.
Plus an ownership of a media partner. So yeah, I'm giving you guys an opportunity to learn about the business model.
Yeah.
Negotiate and get the damn.
And I think when it comes to international relations, there's a lot of Filipinos all over the world, scattered across the globe. So there is always an audience there. If there's a Filipino at the helm.
Hindi, sorry. Okay lang. Example, a Latina wins and she's based in Manila. I don't think na malulungkot siya.
Yeah.
Dahil mahal na mahal naman talaga ng bansang to yung mga queens.
So yeah.
Wherever that may be, she's based in Manila, but she can go to the Latin American market.
But then again, a lot of the more established magazines, beauty brands, they have a headquarters in Thailand. So it does make sense that Thailand is Bangkok is a headquarter.
That was what I was hoping.
Yeah.
Akala ko ganun kasi I think Lancome, Estee Lauder has their Southeast Asia base there.
Yeah.
Procter & Gamble in Thailand is big.
Yes.
Which I think, Maybelline ba falls under that?
No, I think Maybelline is a different company.
Hindi, meron silang conglomerate eh. Kasi parang silang LVMH.
Yes.
May ganun sila.
But it's like a group of different companies.
Bakit hindi na ilapit? Kasi parang
then that is supposed to be my perception there is that's supposed to be the job of Kunan to peddle the organizations to these different international brands.
Say this why? Kasi inuuna ni Kunan i-market yung sarili niya before the org. She's using it for her own personal publicity stunt, so it suffers. I'm sorry, but I have to call it right now. You just have money, but you don't have the management for it. I'm so sorry, that's the truth. Because if you have the power and platform, you have a media conglomerate, it's easy for these brands to have tied up with you. Actually, what we're thinking is, in Thailand alone, buhay yung pera. Nivea Thailand is one of the biggest market endorsement. Vaseline, Unilever Beauty in Thailand is big.
Exactly. I think Thailand would have been the perfect base for the organization because there is the market there. There is all of these international brands available
with the wrong people.
Yes.
Ganun yun.
So, can we move on from this conversation because it looks like it feels like this is not moving forward simply because the leadership is not committed to it.
So, ibig sabihin, if it's gonna die, blame them, not the girls, not anybody, because I think Shane is on her own is doing
quite well.
Job, kahit hindi siya makabalik ng Nicaragua.
And looking at Shanice's her what do you call this? Her travels. She's been to like 5-6 countries in just a matter of like 4 months. 4 months. So she's doing well. I mean, she went to Brazil. She went to what do you call this?
I think she did Middle East.
Costa Rica. She went to not just Middle East. I think it was
she did Mexico.
She did Mexico twice. She did one in Middle East, the one with the exhibit with the jewelry, Moa jewelry brand in, was it Oman or Qatar?
She also walked the Fashion Week, right? Michael Cinco?
No, that was at New York Fashion Week for Rian Fernandez. So I mean, in terms of exposure, I think Raul is doing well for.
Yeah, I think it's the Mexican side was working for that. Well, the Asian side is like full of themselves.
So we're hoping that they manage to resolve this. I hope and I believe that the 2024 finals in Mexico, that is going to be the litmus test for the Miss Universe pageant. If they are able to give us a better show, a better pre-pageant activity, a better career for the winners, I think that's going to be the hallmark that everybody is going to look
Speaking
at
of
for.
Mexico. We were talking a little bit of insight.
Yeah.
We're worried actually. Jason and I were so worried because the next feud would be about the girls in the local setting, which hindi na dapat ng away for MUPH.
Yes.
This is one of the best batch of MUPH.
Yes.
As a transition, ang ganda transition nito because worried kami because Mexico is a hostile country for the Philippines.
Exactly. I posted about this, Mark, that in the 4 times that the pageant was held in Mexico, nung tayo pumasok sa semis, we were like major clappers every time that the pageant is held at Mexico. So
Guadalajara, Acapulco,
so it doesn't it doesn't make sense that the feud between the fandoms of Alexie and Ahtisa are so very much invested.
At hindi ko lang bakit nag-feud kasi
Okay, I think I can explain that. I think I had
iba yung pakete nung dalawa.
I had a hand on this.
Okay.
I believe I had a hand on this.
Because you pitted them together?
No, because I said that Alexie is probably a better choice than Ahtisa. Okay? And I'm saying this because one, in terms of packaging, I think it's easier to package Alexie than Ahtisa. Alexie, you can package her as, the athlete queen. You can package her as a former market vendor who is now, aiming for a national title. She is a SEA Games athlete, heptathlon. She is a scholar at the is it Pamantas ng Maynila or was it the National University? So in terms of credentials, there's a lot riding on Alex's side, Alexie's side. Aside from that, we never had a black Miss Universe Philippines.
Yun yung dahilan na i-excite yung public because first time yung makita ng Blasian candidates.
Yes.
And you were like looking. Pero there's somebody who commented in another page that kind of resemblance niya is Sozy. And the packaging is very Sozy. I don't know if that's gonna work. Pero ako, my take on this is that ang hirap, tinignan ko kasi na mas malaki yung perspective. Ang laki ng field. Okay, Ahtisa serves experience. She's more ready more than ever. I think beauty-wise, talagang yun. And alam naman natin that in 2018, she was really gunning for the universe. It's just that the Great Wall of Catriona Gray is something you cannot break.
But she was not even the second placer allegedly at Binibining Pilipinas.
Well, naman natin sa Binibining yan. Even nga, 5th placer. Tapos,
pwedeng mag-MUPH,
I don't wanna go there, honey. That's a team.
So,
but alam mo na yun, di ba?
Yes.
Alam na natin yun. Pero that's the thing with Binibini back in the day. Pero I think she really, really does eye for the universe. And she took time.
And also, I think that there is this conversation that it's not just about these 2 ladies competing at Miss Universe Philippines.
Exactly.
Because right now, I am looking at Christy Magari as the girl to beat. For me, if it's going to be a 1-2, it's going to be a 1-2 punch. I think it's going to be Alexie and Christy.
The Miss Thailand episode, because we say that the winner of Miss Thailand 2023 will be presumptive Miss Universe. Yes. It's a 3-way fight between Christy Magari, Alexie Brooks, and Ahtisa Manalo. That's how we see it right now. Closer to the front, Stacey Gabriel,
yes.
Is that powerful speaker.
Yeah.
Her vivacious, her facial features.
And she has abs right now.
Denise Richards, I love.
Yes, Denise Richards. And during her sashing ceremony that happened last month, she actually looks like Priscilla Mireles, a young version of Priscilla Mireles.
Kinda. And speaking of facial beauty, Victoria Velasquez Vincent serving face, left, right, front, and center. Girl, that woman is...
Plus, she has the proportions. She has the height.
The
So,
flying V photo shoot for swimwear, honey.
yeah,
What
I agree.
concept? I mean, we have to give it to them. Anita Rose Gomez's teeny tiny waistline, serving body, 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 and the face is so Asian. I mean, diba? It reminds me of a Morena Yana Aduana, which is very, diba?
Yeah.
Ang daming
So I think before we focus on the feud between Alexie's fans and Ahtisa's fans, we need to calm down and look at the competition not as a competition between just those two ladies. I think
Well,
there is
then,
going to be a
it's
lot of
exciting. Alam mo,
Yeah.
if you don't laser focus and zoom out,
yes.
ang saya niyang panoorin. I mean, I'm really, really happy that MUPH allowed these women to compete. Ako naman, ang hinayang ako, bakit ngayon nila ito pinagagawa na nagsasalihan kayo? Kasi
Well, there's a rumor about
I
that.
could plot a 10-year thing. Yeah, the rumor, oh
Yeah.
my God, do not.
Yeah.
Because maybe former Binimini Queens is
Yeah.
so the chance it is, sorry.
Yeah. So we cannot speak of it as of this moment.
Because to be
but yeah.
honest, this is year 5.
Uh-huh.
Of the
And
5th-year
and
contract.
again, if the okay, here's Chichi. Okay, insider Chichi. Somebody mentioned to me that last year during Michelle's time, the franchise for MEPH costs them around 190,000 US dollars. This year, allegedly, the price for the franchise has gone up to 225,000 US dollars. So that's approximately around 8 or 9 million in terms of what do you call this? In terms of the franchise fee alone. And imagine if Binibining Pilipinas paid like 8 million for the entire 3-month pageant last year. So, pageant pa lang yun, hindi pa yun yung kabuuan ng
License.
entire licenses and everything for the entire year. So,
Hindi ko
again,
magets yung license kasi nagbibenta ba ng official merchandise ng Miss Universe sa Pilipinas? Or can you use that logo on charitable events? Or ano ba?
probably it depends on the arrangement.
And the non-profit thing, something
Yeah.
like that. Parang ito kiniisip, sana ma-maximize yung business kasi sobrang mahal naman ng lisensya kung
Exactly.
logo lang yun.
Exactly. So there's a lot of business arrangements there that probably isn't.
We're not privy about,
Yeah,
so we'll gonna
and
be
it
quiet.
isn't spelled out for the franchise partners that is not being communicated to the public. So perhaps.
Maybe.
Mm.
Pero yan, we wanna hear from you. Who do you think, other than Ahtisa and Alexis, could be the next Miss Universe Philippines? Comment down below para makita naman namin kung sino-sino man sinusuporta namin. Kasi napakarami talaga names. Ako, you have Cyril Payumo, the other girls we mentioned earlier. Ang dami.
I'm waiting for the videos for the other girls, especially their communication
I'm excited
skills.
for the runway because that's where the pasabog happens.
Yeah.
Miss Baguio also looks
let's put Ahtisa at the front of the pack in terms of the
Well, I think
pasarela.
if you're gonna
So-
look at it on an experienced professional level of pageantry, Ahtisa
Of course,
Manalo
Ahtisa
yan.
is there.
Kasi because she really has it. So when she said, I'm ready, I'm gonna take it to town, I've heard some of her interviews and that's yes. Oh, I totally agree. She's really ready. She's equipped to the nines. Body is best ever. I love her
The question
color.
is, will she be effective for Mexico?
I hope she breaks the curse in Mexico. Kasi ang kinakatakot
Because
ko,
right now-
baka whoever we send,
Because right now, I think it's Christy Matgari who's able to break that curse.
Pero intercontinental siya lumaban nun. No?
Yes.
Pero for universe, that's
So
a
let's
crazy
see.
thing.
So let's see. Okay. So by the way, we want to take muna an pause and thank Drink Lab Cafe here in Manhattan Tower 1.
Yeah, para naman, to allow us
they allowed us to do the live stream here.
Paras kami nag-iingay elsewhere.
Oo. And we're very grateful for them. We've posted dun sa comment section, dun sa chat box earlier yung address. So if you want to drop by and have a visit here, you're free to go. Okay? And before we jump in dun sa heart of the matter of this live stream, I want muna to take a pause because I think there is a need for us to show credentials. Because the last time we did a live stream, remember, somebody commented that we look like, what was the word?
Jobless.
Unemployed. Unemployed gays.
Ako, Mara, I will not take that offense because, Justin has like more than 15 years in the fashion industry. Hindi nga na siya fashionista, hindi nga na siya nagko-consume. But on a technical wise, he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
I've been naman in the media and marketing world
Yeah.
for almost the same period of time. So I think we know the shit that we're talking about.
Yeah,
So
and-
if you want to know about us, visit our LinkedIn and you'll see what we do.
And for those who are not in the know, Mark has a very impressive resume, having worked with CNN Philippines, with ABS-CBN, and we have been colleagues since 2016.
2016, yeah. We actually started all of these things. Actually, hindi, kinuha ko siya for Winning the Crown. I produced Winning the Crown back in the day. I've been saying this, pero hindi ko naman siya naging loyal because I did not take that as a jump-off point on my way to the pageantry world because I have life beyond these things. So, I'm just a fan, low-key. I watch things when I can. Kung makakapasok ako sa mga venue, ito mga pageants, ito, why not? We analyze in every single bit of it that we can, but we don't do on a major sense. But syempre, we have our point of view to share. This is a platform shared to me, which I'm grateful. So we're gonna talk about things as far as we can, including the next one, which crosses the world of fashion and pageantry. Because there's a big question and dilemma. We're talking about two major queens, carrying the pride of the Philippines, Evangelista and Wurtzbach. So
where do we want to start the conversation?
Okay. You, my friend, has been in the hot water for the past
Week.
7 weeks because of some of your postings that, well, ganito kami kaprangka dito. So, pretty inflammatory to some of the fans because of what we're pointing out.
Yeah.
So, a little bit of background. Paris Fashion Week in 2022 has been
23.
23
23.
rather, has been one of the hottest topics in total entertainment system in general because there were allegations of
Shadow banning.
contact
Stealing.
and practically
Some unethical stuff.
taking on a
Yeah.
space that wasn't supposed to be for other people. So the people
Gist of,
involved, diba? So when they started, Heart has been in this industry for quite a long time.
Quite a long time, yeah.
And I think, secured a partnership agreement with Vogue Philippines with official media representative. So, dun pa lang, iba po yung role. So, do we know much about it? We're gonna dissect it lang because the fight in the page has been so much.
Yeah.
So, how do we tread this line?
Okay.
You wanna go?
I wanna go. I wanna go
first.
because
Kasi ako I'm gonna go educational on a bit of sense and then mahaba yung akin, so let him.
okay, because on my end, when I was tasked to defend myself with regards to the troll comments on my Instagram page, it came to the point that some of these fans started questioning my credentials and my credibility with regards to the matter. Having been someone who has been an expat, who handled international brands, someone who has extensive fashion industry experience and retail experience, I just found it very demeaning and condescending that these people ask questions about my credentials where among all the pageant vloggers out there, I am the one with the most credentials when speaking about this particular topic. And it all stemmed out when I said that in terms of the people who follow Pia Wurtzbach as a influencer, she is not as effective because her market is the FMCG market, which is a vastly, totally different market as
Define
compared
natin, FMCG is fast-moving
consumer goods.
Ito yung mga pang-araw-araw niyo ginagamit sa bahay.
Yes.
Maligo, sabon, shampoo, and all those things.
Yes. So, when I compare that with the market that follows, let's say, Catriona Gray and Heart Evangelista, I think that their egos have been struck because the FMCG market is not necessarily the same as the luxury market. The luxury market are the AB markets. The FMCG markets are the CDE and lower markets. There is largely a gap between those two markets because one, when you talk about luxury, luxury is not a inclusive na market. Luxury brands and goods is not a inclusive na market for all audiences because one, the barrier to be able to purchase a luxury item is its high price, its high price points, and it is made to do so because they want exclusivity. Ibig sabihin, if someone buys, let's say, 120,000, Elisa dress, they wouldn't want that same dress on another person. That is why it is exclusive. Now, you might think that, oh, luxury is, very racist. No, it's not that. Because luxury is exclusive, but it's not exclusionary. Because if you want to buy a luxury item or a brand that has, that is tagged as luxury item, there are products within the sphere of that brand that you can buy. Like, for example, perfumes. Perfumes that would cost you probably around 2,000 to 5,000 pesos. Then you have accessories. The eyeglasses that I'm wearing is Dior. The perfume that I'm wearing is Chanel. All of these are within my budget. So, just because luxury items is not something that is easily accessible for everyone, it doesn't mean that they are exclusionary. However, the people who are, influencing our purchases, like Art, like Pia, and like Catriona, they have their own markets that they serve, that they, for some reason, that they have conquered.
They have their lanes.
They have their lanes. So, because there is an overlap between Heart and Pia's markets, that is where the friction is coming in. Simply because, one, the market that follows Heart or the market that buys luxury. The one that are the major followings of Pia are the pageant market, and these are the mass market.
I'll explain the difference of that later when
Okay.
when I dip into that.
Yeah.
So you go
and,
finish first.
And then when it comes to people who are questioning what's going on between the two, how effective they are, when I said that in order for Pia to improve her market share, she needs to shave off the FMCG market that she is associated with, I think a lot of people started to think that I was saying something that is negatory about Pia, when in fact I was telling what are the things that she might need to do in order for her to be an effective luxury market influencer. Because if your followers are not the followers who move merchandise, are not the followers that would make purchase with what you post, then you're not an effective influencer, right? So my thought process was to tell that Pia's market is the FMCG market, and she needs to shave off that that association. I'm not saying that tanggalin niya yung mga followers na yon. What I'm saying is remove the association. Magkaroon ng gap between the people who follow her and the people that she wants to influence for her brand as a luxury influencer. So which means that she needs to acquire followers that are more likely in the lane that who buys luxury. Which makes sense because you are a luxury influencer, and therefore you need to influence those who are buying luxury, much like what Heart does. The moment that Heart posted earlier, I think within the last 24 hours, about the Mugler Red Star na perfume,
Angel Nova, ang dami.
Angel Nova, suddenly my feed is inundated with people who are buying and purchasing the
My best friend
Angel.
owns one. Ang pangit.
Exactly. So that is an effective influencer, someone who moves not only the market but the merchandise in that market. So ito yung largely na tingin ko where a lot of fans feel like they are
lost.
or rather they're offended with what I said. Because it's not. It's something that is
considered protective, no?
overprotective. So, if you don't understand the meaning doon sa sinasabi, then ask questions. Hindi yung you take an assumption na ganito kasi ganito at ganyan, and then suddenly you direct the conversation into the nag-uumpisa pa lang siya, so ganito ganyan. But the thing is, she started last year as invite with her invite with
different take on
with the fashion week.
Because
Okay.
I think one of our friends, I think Tita Lavinia was it, pointed out that one way or the other, since she's became Miss Universe 2015, it's bound to happen. I agree. If there's an opportunity and a lot of things happen, may question tayo nung araw, di ba? Because she was in New York for a while. Pero I'll get into that later. So, let me I don't want to educate, but as someone in the media marketing field for the past 10 years, here's how we see it. Let's go back to 2010. Because 2010 was, I think, the year when influencer marketing started becoming a trend in all businesses around the world. Back in the day, may tinatawag tayong key opinion leader. This could be artista, this could be vlogger, a digital identity that you follow to form your opinion kung bakit mo bibili ng produkto, bakit siya maganda. So you see them often on traditional media, print ads, magazines, TV commercials, and more. These are the KOLs. Of course, as we develop in social media...
Again, KOL is key opinion leaders.
Okay. Sila yung pinaniniwalaan nyo. Ito yung mga Century Superbart, yung sexing babae. So you believe na, effective ang Century 2 na to weight loss, right? Because you see a person who identifies with the value of the brand. Kaya ito yung sasabi ng brand value, kailangan nagsasabay. This is a marketing master class, guys. So, in 2010, 11, and 12, nag-start yung influencer management. Because yung KOL became different na. There's a bucketing of these personalities. You could be a celebrity, but celebrity is different because celebrity from the word itself, you celebrate them for what they do.
Yeah.
Their artistry, their craft, their creativity, and their excellence in whatever that is. So
excellence in their crafts.
And ito yung mga artista talaga. Big names, big words. To talk about the Meryl Streeps, the Naomi Campbells, the Nicole Kidman, ganyan. In the local setting, at that time, these are your Claudine Barretos, Julian Santos, the Ann Curtises. These are these people. Now, on a smaller scale that targets certain communities or a smaller group of people with a smaller platform, when digital came to power, nag-ungusan yung mga pangalan. Ito yung tinatawag natin mga hindi pa influencer tawag sa nung araw, mga digital vloggers, ganyan, diba? And then, because they form an opinion also and influences you on what to do, we had the influencer. So the influencer market, when it started to happen and moving forward, Heart Evangelista was transitioning from being celebrity to an influencer because she can do both.
And we have to remember that Heart started her influencer game when Hermes, was it Hermes or was it Schiaparelli? I think it was Hermes that found her, painting yung mga bags that she has.
Yeah, but even before that, she's a celebrity. So she has a name for herself, right? Much like Pia, also started somewhat in 2001 with K2BU, and Heart was with Mix. So when that was happening, you can say that the power is slowly growing in a sense that, okay, they have their voices, they have their platform, nakikita mo sila, hindi mo sila. Pero may certain people na they're selling, the influence comes not from a place of newly acquired taste or interest, but from a place of upbringing. Heart is an ong pao ko. She grew up in luxury. She experiences luxury. So when she talks about luxury, she is luxury. So ito yung quote natin na, I don't need the market, I am the market. It's okay. So she started building that on a personal level. So became an authority. Pag sinabi na, these are the perfumes I like because I've been using them since back in the day. I own she knows the difference between Kelly and a Birkin,
Yeah.
an ostrich and a Himalaya crocodile, those kinds of stuff. Ganun kalalim ang knowledge na. And so, she also maintained I've learned that she also maintained communication level with the designers themselves. No, she speaks with Elisa Ab on and off camera.
Yeah.
She
And
knows
he had-
Parelli, the people behind
Yeah.
LVMH, her partnership with Christian Dior, depending on kung sinong creative director ng Maison. Maison is the fashion house.
Yes.
So, depending on that,
He knows Lian Batista
Yes.
Valley, and
Ganun
all of
kalalim.
those, designers.
Yes, ganun kalalim ang
yeah.
kanyang focus. Now, does this mean that anybody else cannot follow the footsteps? Of course they
No.
can.
Yeah.
Pwede naman. But you need to establish the reason why you need to be believed, the authenticity, and the structure. I think if you follow the timeline, you said that, yeah. Hart started becoming associated with the higher market early on in her age.
Yeah.
But when she got married to Senator Jesus Cordero, she started attending this gala, this balls, this non-profit benefit events and charities. She was associated with Senator Miriam Defensor Chango at some point. And so the elite and higher echelons share the same interest
With
as
her.
she does. Thus, the Hermes painting na wala siyang ginagawa and she had an exhibit, even if people call her maarte or just privileged. Sinabi naman niya, maarte ako, di ako masamang tao.
Yeah.
Pero she does that on multiple facets. And so, the interest started.
Yeah.
And people, she gained the attention, being invited, check out these pieces, or other people even ask her to commission and paint their Birkins, di ba? And that's the start of it. And then, she launched her vlog, which populated with all the things she loves, she likes, di ba? Her lifestyle. Now, she's selling her lifestyle.
Yes.
Kaya naging credible siya, naging believable siya, because she was selling Heart Evangelista's life.
And she was living it.
She's living it.
And that is, the point
Now-
of contention here,
Yes.
that in terms of authenticity, it is believable because she was it.
Yes. And then, other people also tried. Okay, last year, you see, Anne Curtis was there, Nadine Lustre was there. Some brands would tie up with people that they believed could represent their brand elsewhere. Bakit nangyayari to? Because dito na papasok yung technicality ng social media metrics. I believe some numbers, EMV has been released recently from the Milan.
I have the
Fashion
numbers.
Week. Yeah, the numbers that translate to, the media values. Ganito po yung difference niyan. Media values is the value we put on the number of exposure and the platform that we use. For example, Pia Wurtzbach ranked 5th. But you have to understand
Six.
that 6
After Anne Hathaway.
after everything. But Pia was there not just as Pia Wurtzbach, but as SSI Live and as Vogue Philippines. So, the total leverage of values of the faces that she is there, associated with the titles, the platform she is with, yun ang cumulative nun. And I believe for her to get the numbers, she need to post 25 a day. Not bad. It's a good start for influencer. Whereas Heart Evangelista has a lower number at 1.4, but organically as Heart Evangelista.
Yeah.
On
So
their platform.
hindi siya inimbitahan doon under Vogue Philippines or under SSI or whatever.
She was asked herself.
She was asked by the brands, by the designers and the houses, the fashion houses.
And I think as of now, the fashion houses she's worked with, I think she has Dior.
She has a lot. I will break
Run
down run through a
Okay.
little bit on this later because
Yes.
I have
Yung iba naman nag-present sila together. So, ano pa yung other measurement niyan? Ad agencies also use social listening on the effectivity of the personality. Kayo, dito papasok yung fans. You listen carefully if you want to support. Because ganito ang nagiging problema nyo. So, Pia started early. Of course, the support is, ay, ang ganda niya, bagay yung damit sa kanya. You look gorgeous, queen. We support you. Yes, slay the runway. Be in Paris. Do this and blah, 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 blah. But the problem is, that's all you can read. Ano ang service ng kanyang engagement with the brand she's representing? Heart Evangelista before the feud. If you look at the 2007, 6, 8 pa, people would ask, oh, how much is that Birkin?
Yes.
Where did you get that Birkin? Oh, Dior.
Yes.
I love that bag. Oh, I saw that elsewhere. I
Yeah.
saw that in Vegas. I bought that in Soler. Uy, sige, I got a bottle. Ako, personally, I searched for Tartan and chocolate because of her. The perfume, because I have something bad happened to me last year and perfume became my addiction.
Yeah.
I started, di ko kaya bumili ng mamahalin. I was looking for dupes, copies, or even
The
French
smaller-
brands. No, the French brands na may certain tier. Example, Solid Notes is one of my favorites. Yeah. Or the Karl Lagerfeld line is one of the things that affordable but
Yeah.
still designer. So mga ganung bagay. Pero natutunan ko yung penhaligon na because of her. Of course, the metrics there is that a lot of people want to smell like Heart Evangelista. Neroli Portofino, Aqua of Tom Ford, became one of the top selling perfumes in the country because of her. In the same sense, Santal 33 by Lalabo became a top hitting perfume also when Bea Alonso released a vlog about it. Only because the translation of their activity to sales is present.
Yes.
Doon ka ngayon nila irarank as effective. Ngayon,
So-
the Fashion Week, di ba? Get
Yeah.
Bottega Veneta, Giambattista. I like that Loro Piana bag. I like this coat. I like this da. Pero wala ka nakikitang ganang engagement. It doesn't strike. So, hindi nagka-translate yun. So, meaning, that's the question of
Effectivity.
effectivity lies.
Yeah.
And legitimacy. Kung ikaw ba talaga a fashion influencer, fashionista, or just have piqued an interest in fashion. Now, nothing shade to Pia about doing that. Pero I think there could have been certain things she've done in the past to establish that build. Example, she's Miss Universe 2015. For sure, a lot of things happened to her life. Her market is more democratic as to her heart na aspirational, but meron din siyang captured 80,
Yes.
diba? She could have started such as
Remember when we talked about she could start with beauty brands.
yeah, but ako, my first experience with, say, her first luxury bag. Okay, a story behind her first Chanel.
Yes.
Or the first time she walked Carmen Marc Valvo in New York, how was it? Or did she meet other designers? Her perfume line collection, hindi pa natin nakikita yung mga ganyan Pia. Or even her Bulgari set, because I've heard she now has quite a beautiful collection of her jewelries. These are the things she could have tapped into or focused into and like shared before going to Paris Fashion
Yes.
Week. Yun kasi ang naging problema. Tumalon siya agad doon, ando doon siya. Bakit? Anong, parang, hindi man sinasabi na anong karapatan mo to be there, pero hindi namin alam kasi kung bakit, anong relasyon doon sa mga yon. Because Heart and other contemporaries like Urasaya from Thailand they've always been there. Like sina Jenny has been talking of Blackpink has been talking to the designers because they've been dressing her for quite a while now. So there's a relationship. Kaya iniimbitan ka ng front row seats. The same thing that Kim Kardashian and Balenciaga has this relationship. Or like with Anna Wintour from Vogue Magazine or Met Gala. And then you're there. Siguro lang if Pia, matatapos ang fashion week, Pia will coming back to Manila and Dubai. I think that's a good start for her to reconcentrate. I think that would also help her. Doon sa sinasabi mong shaking of the FMCG. Ako hindi naman kailangan mawala yun because si Heart also did Pure Foods corned beef.
Yes.
Pero
there's a difference to that.
social niya.
Social siyang
Even the red ribbon because
when Heart does FMCG, it's still luxury because she's wearing Bulgari jewelries while posting about
other than Heart,
Gardenia.
I also have to commend some person who sparked my interest into this. Yung sister niya, Camille Ong Pauco, is one of the most glamorous and elegant person in the country. When she did that vlog with Heart back in the pandemic, cooking the Barrio Fiesta bagoong in her jewelry, crisp white shirt and pants, my God. Parang,
diba?
What an elegant way
and that is having a personality.
Yeah. And you know that
and here's the thing
diba?
where
Sa bahay nila ganun siya, on the basic level ganun siya.
And here's where it gets, I think it's painful for Pia's fans to hear when I say that I don't think Pia has a built-in personal sense of style as of this moment.
Exactly. Nakadepend siya
She's
doon.
dependent on her stylist.
And I haven't seen her
Her
create
designers.
content on how get ready with me.
Exactly.
Wala pa
this is,
nakitang ganon.
this is
Hindi.
where
Or nag-ukay-ukay na ba siya and see her pieces. Because that's the thing. I think yun yung naging problema. So if you guys would go attacking other people's pages na mas maganda pag mas matangkad.
Yes.
Mas maganda pag maganda. Of course, she's Miss Universe, she deserves to be there. Hindi po valid yun. Because yes, we do not undermine her winning. We love her. She's our pride. Pero iba rin yung linya ng fashion. Kasi mas
Oo.
mahirap yung tinahak.
And here's the thing about fashion. Fashion, especially at the luxury game, is a much more difficult, what do you call this? It's much more difficult ball game. It's not as democratic as, let's say, the H&M's, the Zaras of the fashion world. It is much more stringent.
Yeah.
It will call you out if they feel that you are inauthentic. If it feels like you are a put on in terms of your personality, in terms of your
At saka,
capacity
yung
to
takot
influence.
Natin, just like in the pageant world minsan, di ba? Ang takot natin, are these girls competing the pageantry because is it their dream or they're living somebody else's dream?
And this is where, the criticism on Pia needs to be addressed. Because as of now, Pia, when you think about her brand, her personal fashion brand, and what it is, you cannot nail it down to one word, right? And that is largely because she is dependent on her fashion stylists, her designers, to put up looks for her.
That's the truth. I think for the past few years, it's always been like that.
So that's the criticism. Unlike that of Heart, that when you talk about Heart, you know that is Filipina accessible luxury.
At siya yun eh. But, I mean,
Exactly.
the way she chooses her clothes, diba? Pinapakita niya talaga yung I think how we partner this Vuitton with this. She speaks as if she's Miranda Priestley in Devil Wears Prada. She knows the difference between cerulean and turquoise. Diba? Parang ganyan. So, ang hirap yun.
And that is, that is a difficult thing if you want to be an influencer, because for 2024, luxury brands are investing on influencer marketing. However, by the time that this is done, they have already done the investments, there is a time of reckoning after that. They will review the numbers. They will review if you're only good in translating for media eyeballs, or are you moving merchandise from the stores? Because if you are a brand, you're a luxury brand that is investing on luxury influencers, you need to make sure that your return on investment is high, because you are investing on the popularity of these people. And if you are not getting the numbers, you're not getting you're only good for, let's say, media eyeballs, then there are a lot of influencers that can give you that. But if you have an exemplary influencer who not only gives you the eyeballs but also moves merchandise for you, then that is the kind of influencer that you want to be in your fashion shows.
That's the best measurement that you want to get, diba?
Because it doesn't make sense that you're only good for eyeballs and then that's it. It ends there. Because right now, when you talk about brand awareness for these brands that Pia, for example, is posting on her on her Instagram, a lot of her followers probably wouldn't even know what Loro Piana is versus what is Bruno Cucinelli is.
Yun ang probably nakikita nila tuloy kung
exactly.
Ang tao yun nagfo-follow.
Exactly. And the market that comments about Pia's presence at Paris Fashion Week, they're not commenting that, oh, that looks like a brand that I am willing to invest in, which is far different from the people who follows Heart, where Heart's brand is when she posts on limited edition YSL sunglasses, and then within just minutes or hours and days, that gets sold out. So that is the kind of power that you want to have as an influencer, because that will, separate you from, the chaff. That will save you away from the eyeballs only versus the I'm capable of moving merchandise level of influencer. Yes, that is the creme de la creme of fashion influencer, because that is the kind of influencer that gets to sit at the front row of the Paris Couture, the Haute Couture Fashion Week. Kasi ang Paris Haute Couture Fashion Week, you do not get invited if the brand or the maison does not know you. So I'm looking at the numbers here right now, and I am looking at Heart's Paris Haute Couture footprint, and she has 8 of the Fédération de la Haute Couture de la Mode which is the French syndicate that controls those designers who can
For you to
use
earn
haute couture in their labels. And she has 8 out of the 20-something na designers na nag-show. And that's not inclusive of the 3 other houses who are also couture houses, but not haute couture houses, that heart,
Also, she got the chance to walk the Paris Fashion Week.
exactly. So
Like, for an influencer to be able to do that, that's
you have to be like the Paris Hilton of the 2000s,
she's
or
really running after the character. I
Yeah.
forgot the name of the sister of Nick Young in Crazy Rich Asian. Astrid. She was gunning that whole
Astrid Leong.
Leong character. That's it. That's what she does.
Yeah. And looking at the Paris Fashion Week, only Heart has a digital footprint there. Pia doesn't have, because probably she's not the market of the haute couture.
Really, but the question is, nag-start pa lang naman siya. It's okay.
Yeah.
Pero, I mean, feeling ko you start...
You start
right?
somewhere. You start right.
right.
Yes.
Parang ganun yun. Ako hindi ko
Oo.
na pinepedal yung accusations about whatever that is, because that's them. Ako, I think
Yeah.
that should be the responsibility
And-
of the teams that
Yeah.
hired no,
Yes,
some
and
people.
I think it's also worth mentioning that if you're going to start your career, start it ethically. I think that's the
juicy. Pero hindi naman daw niya kasalanan. It's the team. And it's the editorial board that hired those people to bring
which
him.
is still, you want to make it, you start with good karma.
Sige.
Right.
For
So
fairness
let's-
and equality,
let's,
if you are the queen at binigyan ka ng ganun team, would you be able to say no or just take the bait?
If I want to start right, I will.
Paano kung mawala ka ng opportunity? Like, hindi na ako makapunta ng PFW. Hindi na ako makapunta ng Milan dahil nag-no ako. Because Vogue will not bring me there anymore.
Because it's not my, again, it's not my personality. That's not who I am. I am not the luxury market. Right now, if you talk to me about how
If
about...
that's your really dream,
Yeah.
talagang you're gonna go for it.
If it's your dream, and I think yes, that's something that you're gonna sink your teeth in, right?
Well, yeah, they kind of did.
Yeah, but
that's
then again, for someone like me, where let's put it into perspective. One of the things that I teach with my fashion students is about fashion sustainability. And whenever I explain to them the concept of sustainability, one of the things that I say is that in terms of, let's say, buying stuff, I always calculate the cost per wear before I buy. If the cost per wear within a year would amount to be around 20 pesos, 10 pesos, then that's a good buy, at least for me. So it justifies yung need ko in terms of sustainability, so that I don't have an overflow of fashion items in my closet. I don't have too much merchandise and products in my closet that it becomes debilitating for me to select, the piece of clothing for
Pero
that
other
day.
people can sell it for benefit. Sometimes.
Yes.
Pero they do.
Oo.
Meron silang
and
decluttering
then
sales.
there are other colleagues who their concept of sustainability is thrifting, where they would go to ukay-ukays, reimagine those fashion
Alam mo, yung friends Mark
items.
kind of tapped on that too. During the pandemic, she went to Sorsogon and did all of that. Yun yung democratization.
So that is me. So it doesn't make sense for me to. It doesn't make sense for my brand, for example, that kind of opportunity. So why would I risk my reputation for that opportunity that is completely not who I am? So because I think there is a need for evaluating first if this is a brand that aligns with your current brand. If it's not, then why push it if it's just like, a pipe dream? You can probably go there as an audience, just for experience. But to have this as a career, you need first to lay the ground work. Start
That's the same thing that like the likes of say Vicky Bello did back in the day.
Start with establishing the kind of brand that you want as an influencer first, before just jumping to any opportunities without having a long-term idea or a long-term plan. for that to work.
That's the key. There's a plan. There's another way to do it. I think there's another one way for you to transition if you're somebody of caliber like that. A symbiotic. What do we talk there? A symbiotic marketing ability or symbiotic influencership. Example, the brand, like you said, Amazon can have multiple lines of products that they would focus on. Heart Evangelista just currently focuses on front row fashion shows. But there were moments that you see in the past, hindi naman to, okay baka pumasamain nyo at sabihin nyo, we're lifting the other versus the other. Example, Christian Dior in Singapore, for example, had invited multiple times Kat and Heart together. And you see them. So people would argue, bakit naman kay Catriona hindi kayo critical? Because here's the thing. Catriona's doing a symbiotic marketing relationship with this. She knows she cannot win in fashion. She owns luxury items, we know. She has her Chanel, she also has her Balenciaga, she has some pair of Louboutins, but they're not expensive. Pero alam niya that does not warrant her enough way to like deal with it.
Yeah.
But for the longest time, as Miss Universe, her face has always been the market.
Yeah.
Her beauty. At saka Dior talaga gamit niya kahit binibini pa lang. So I think the local office in Manila kind of took chance in that so that Dior Beauty becomes her brand.
Exactly.
And so now she's doing a lot of work for Dior Beauty. When nakikita tuloy sila sa Singapore, hindi siya contradictory.
Yes.
Because
it's
of Dior and the look of Dior together.
It's complementary to each other.
It's complementary.
Or
so, the perfumes, hindi niya pinakikialam because Heart is doing perfumes. Diba?
Heart sells the look, the clothes, the apparel, the accessories, while Catriona sells the beauty brand.
Or
the
say in
Dior
Bulgari,
Beauty.
In Bulgari, it's a community. Well, all of them has done Bulgari. Catriona has done Bulgari. He has done Bulgari.
But then again, the difference is that Heart owns her own Serpentine. And she owns two.
I think
she owns
feeling cause of now, they kind of own all. On different gravity. But the biggest Serpentine, the original one, the 21 karat gold and emerald eyes, which is the most expensive.
The 7.3 million.
I rumored that there are only 5 people in this country who owns them. I think
Heart is one of them.
One of them. Gretchen Barreto is one of them. Marian Rivera has
white
gold.
No, the rose gold version.
She has it. Alice Eduardo and Small Laude, the sisters, has them. So those are the women who owns that. I think that's kind of.
And this is the kind of influencer that brands love. Someone who not only pushes the visibility of the brand but also is a customer.
Hindi niya pakikialaman yon. On a lower scale market, Heart is pushing Zalora. Catriona is now with H&M. And so wala naman tayo nakikitang argument because why? They're doing different things.
Yes.
Alam nung isang i-take yung mga
and it's not a like it's not the same blueprint that Heart is doing and Catriona is doing.
Isa pa yung content. Medyo siguro nung nag-upisa si Pia, it's exactly
the
what
same.
Heart does. Crossing around, crossing lookbook, moving lookbook. Yun yung naging problema doon. I think they're starting to change now. Pia is going the cinematic act. Perfect. Si Heart is doing a music book kind of playlist. It's like what you call this? Yung mga ginagawa ng mga digital albums ngayon na moving yung music video pero hindi masyado. She's going for that. She's choosing the right kind of music. And I think a digital genius, Edward Bertelot, is responsible for creating all those beautiful visuals for Heart. And ayun, I mean, if you're gonna ask us, isa lang ba dapat ang mag-reyna dito?
No. There is a space for everyone. The thing is, you need to find your niche.
Yes, and just, if you do things properly, it would happen.
Not just properly, you do things ethically. Yun yung importante na we need to. No, because properly would mean properly in the sense of it can be proper in terms of the strategy and execution. But also, I think there is a need na we stress on yung ethical because kinakailangan wala kang inaapakang tao.
Inapakan?
Yon. So, Let's ask Reddit. Let's ask Reddit. Doon tayo sa Reddit mag-usap.
Baka YSL yung tinatawag.
Doon tayo sa Reddit mag-usap.
Sana lubutan para mataling yung heel. Sorry. Pero anyway.
Malay mo, Blanix.
Baka Manolos, no?
Yeah.
But anyway.
Or it's her choose. As in Jamie Chu.
Oh my God.
Remember Sarah Jessica Parker? My choose.
But she loves Manolo more than ever. Her wedding shoes are Manolos.
Is it really Manolo?
Di ba Manolo? Taga-mahal-mahal ni Manolo dun. Kahit namatay na si Big, ayaw niyang ibenta.
Yeah.
Pero ginamit na naman.
I was thinking it was hard. Then, as cheating nga pala.
Okay, we're not minimizing, pero kung tatanong nyo kami if as of now, who has the upper hand, I think it's very clear that this is Heart Evangelista's world.
Yes.
This is her life.
Start building contacts the proper way and not not piggyback on what do you call this?
Ako kasi nagbitaw din ako ng word dati na anyone who follows suit will always be second grade. And hindi ko yung nilimit sa isang tao because ako fearlessly saying even if Ann Curtis was there, hindi naman niya na-achieve yung ganung result. Nadine Lustre nga kept quiet at some point because she knows na hindi talaga
this is not her
her world. If you listen to the Brian voice of this,
but her acting with the mothering thing was like superb.
She does it well.
Yeah.
So
anyway,
sorry. I mean, yun yung ganap, diba? So pwede naman, may time, maraming pwedeng gawin. But I think if you get that, you'll get there. If you get the way to do it.
And I think for Pia and her glam team to start building the looks based on Pia's personality.
At saka fans.
So that
kung susuporta tayo, supportan nyo ng tama. If you want, you can buy the clothes, the bags. Kung kaya nyo bilhin yung perfume,
yes.
nyo.
Kasi in terms of effectivity as an influencer, it all boils down to the numbers later on. It all boils down to the ability to move the merchandise.
Hindi na makipagpatayan kayo kasi mas maganda yung damit. Kasi mas matangkad at mas bagay dun sa clothing line na yun.
Exactly.
Kaya pagpatayan kayo yung bilhin, i-sold out nyo yung mga suot nila.
Yeah.
If you can afford the Loro Piana bag, sold it out in Manila. Loro Piana is available, I think, in green.
But the thing is, Laura Piana and Brunello Cucinelli are some of those what they call the silent luxury na mga brands that are not that if you they are the brands that if you know
it's a different money.
Yes, it's a different money definitely.
It's like for men's brand. Ako, I dream of owning a Xenia.
Yes, Xenia. For me,
I
same.
can afford the Xenia, but I know what Xenia is.
Especially if it's a made-to-measure Xenia.
Siguro Boss na lang yung kayang bilhin. Which by the way, I love. Naomi Campbell is now partnering
of Boss. But the thing is, with Boss and Chanel, I just recently, I was recently discussing this with my students about the history of those brands. They have Nazi connotations way back in the day. Thankfully, they are able to shave off those associations. So they are some of the more established and biggest luxury brands right now.
Medyo malungkot ako sa nangyari kay Christian Dior. I don't like the recent collection with Grazi. I mean, celebrating.
Well, the thing is with Maria Gracia is that there's always a criticism about her work.
Maybe that's what she wants talaga, no, to trigger the. Pero Balenciaga is far back. Ayoko na.
For me,
sabi nila hindi ka naman makakabili, but banday mo sinasabi.
But then again, this is the realm of our what do you call this world, because you're at marketing. Right? I'm at the Kidim. So these are things that we converse.
At pwede naman kung hindi maganda talaga hindi sa maganda. But anyway,
right now I am loving the Victor and Rolf collection.
Yeah, maganda.
And the Margiela collection by John Galliano. The haute couture collections.
I like that Versace kind of changed the tone a bit.
It kind of like softened and become less overtly sexy.
It's more democratic.
Yeah.
Somebody said pedestrian. I hindi naman siguro, but it's more democratic. Parang mas wearable siya, no, more than ever.
So let's
settled. So
let's hear your comments muna, okay? Kasi medyo marami kami siya, 'di ba? Okay. So Malaya E says, okay, nawala. Okay, I think sorry, na-slide out ko. Okay, ito. Malaya says, it may be hard pill to swallow, but if Pia nasaan na ba yun?
Want to last in the luxury fashion industry,
There, yeah.
she has to know what she's doing. Aralin ang basic to I think she knows. Pero nga, she's learning from the stylist. It's not
Yes.
life. Hindi, yun yung
It's not self-taught.
It's not lifestyle. Pero feeling ko, now that she's Mrs. Johnsy, baka may collection na siya. Baka naman
Probably.
pasigit mo sa amin. Yan.
Probably. And maybe she needs to start, using the language, the luxury language, when it comes to posting. Kasi her attack on social media is still like the way that she captions when she was Miss Universe. So maybe she needs to up it up a bit and use the same language that the luxury market is using when communicating.
Noel Reyes said he liked the way we explained the issue. Well, we're not experts on this one, but we try to be diplomatic and educational when we do these things based on the businesses that we handle and the work that we do, because this is also our livelihood. So thank you so much for appreciating. Love that. Tara V.
Nasaan na ba?
Com skills and hawig ni Ora Brigela. Who is this? I do not know.
Tara V. Oh, Tara Valencia, the Miss Universe Philippines Baguio.
Hindi naman. I think she's pretty.
She's pretty, yes, but again, there needs to be a little bit more polishing on the communication skills.
Sabi namin, if you're gonna go against Ahtisa Manalo, then be ready because she's bringing experience. Next. Malaya E should be more substantial. Oh, it's learning experience. I think she's been learning for the past 2 fashion weeks. She's been there. Yeah.
Okay.
Daniela Alejandra.
Okay, sabi niya, in every situation, there is always someone more important and powerful than Heart, even if she feels very important and powerful herself.
There is. I think Heart has been acknowledging the more powerful people.
Yes. And if you look at her Instagram, she always tags, the key people in the Maison. Like for example, she posted something about Dior. She tagged Maria Grazia, the creative director of Christian Dior.
And nakakausap niya yun even.
And when she had, and then when she had a post with regards to Gian Battista Valley, she also tagged Gian Battista in.
But if Daniela was implying that somebody is more powerful, I don't
There
think
is
you're
always
thinking about the right person.
Yeah.
I don't think she has the power pa in that sense. Okay. So Watercolors 2209S, I so love this, or all caps po. I hope yes fandom can see this and open their eyes. Yeah, I mean makakatulong yung fandom in understanding. I'm sorry, I don't have any better term to say this. Pero by now, nakikilala natin kung anong klaseng tao yung nasa sa fandom.
Oo.
And do you want to be categorized? Kasi reflection ng hindi sa atin na fans.
Oo.
Sa sinusuportahan nyo. So, if you want your celebrities and influencers to be
Successful.
bold and successful, act successful.
Yeah. And also, support them. Buy the stuff that they peddle. Buy the lifestyle that they peddle. Because that is
ng TikTok video, si remix nyo. This is what she wore, I bought it too.
Yes.
On her versus me. Tingnan natin, para makita natin na nagtatranslate sa public.
Because what I also appreciate with Heart is when fans tag her on their stories when, like, recently they bought the Mugler perfume. Suddenly, all of her...
Angel Nova talaga.
Yung Angel Nova, sobrang kalat sa kanyang Instagram stories.
Store sa mga malls sa Manila. And it's called Fresh. Wala na kahit yung purple version. Kasi Angel Nova, may purple version yan dito. Wala na rin.
Wala na din. And somebody posted that on Sephora, it's no longer available.
It's 9,000 pesos, by the way, in the Philippines.
So
if you can find it in the Middle East, Europe, and USA, it is...
yes.
Gusto rin namin maamoy yung Angel Nova na yan. Alam mo ko yung purple kasi my best friend loves that for night. And sinabi rin ni Heart, she was using the blue one. I think they're referring about the same thing. Na yung blue for night, Angel Nova for day.
For day, yeah. And again, this is the kind of influencer that you love.
If you want to learn about the notes of the perfume, go to fragrantica.com. I love that website. And tignan nyo kung bagay sa amoy nyo yung notes niya before you buy. Okay. Lloyd TG, you don't want to start your new career. Well, ethical, sinabi ni Jason yun. FRG, I'm loving this session. Sobrang daming Easter eggs, informative and enlightening. We try.
Oo. Daniela Alejandra Lee says, is the moral thing to do always the right thing to do? If you can do it easy instead of what it's right,
Tinanong
would
ko
you do
siya.
it?
Well,
Yes.
it based on your personality. Kung ganun ang pagkatao mo, do as you please. Pero face the repercussions also.
Yeah. And every choice has its own set of consequence. Regardless of whether it's moral or it's right. And usually, sometimes, the moral thing is not necessarily the right thing to do.
Pero minsan, it may not
So,
earn it. It might not earn you something now, pero sa future doon mo siya anihin.
Yeah.
Possible.
Yeah. Honor and excellence, Sir Jay, sabi ni Malaya E. Oh, I think you're a UP student if you know that that's the brand essence of the University of the Philippines, to be honest. Okay.
I mean, may marang babalikan. Si Arizon kasi was pointing,
See?
pro-Kunan daw siya.
Oo.
And sinave daw niya ang MU from bankruptcy. I don't think na-save niya from bankruptcy ang MU. May financial situation sila, they're sharing assets, and Kunan is facing problems in Thailand that remains to be seen. And doon sa sinasabi niyo na every week pinag-usapan ng MU since Kunan took over, like what happened with Pia and Hart. Tignan niyo kung anong klase naman pag-uusap ang nando doon. Mabuti ba yung sinasabi o masasama because it's part of the metric?
I think there's a better protection for the Miss Universe brand because it's co-owned by Raul Rocha. The 50-50, you know, the 50-50.
It's 51-49.
Oh, but
51
what was published was it's a 50-50.
Well,
well-
you can pick the line, but it's a 49-51. The controlling part now is with Raul Rocha. So we can say that Raul is the CEO of Miss Universe. It's a Mexican-owned organization now.
Okay.
So,
then-
bumigay si Kunan. So, nasabi na may ibenta niya, binenta po niya majority stake.
Okay, so
If those are-
which is pretty much similar to what Donald Trump did. He had 49%
49
ownership
kay Trump,
and then 51%
51 kay
with
NBC.
NBC Universal.
Yun na yun. So, yun na yun. And I think TV Azteca is the main media partner now. One of the oldest media organizations.
Are they still partnering with Telemundo? Because I haven't heard
Azteca
anything.
is in direct competition with Telemundo.
Okay, so who's broadcasting it in the
Maybe-
US? I think it's only Roku.
Maybe pan Latin America.
Yeah, because
Telemundo
because
pan.
I think last year ABS-CBN, GMA and one other network telecast the Miss Universe
And there
pageant.
was a
So
TV fan
yeah,
also. May depende sa franchise, right?
Yeah.
That's nice.
so did we miss any major na mga comments here?
MC Chan knows, Pia daw knows the motive. Oh well, whatever that motive, I think we have moral ascendancy in choosing the decisions that we want to take. Do you want to work with these people? I mean, lalo na if you have a voice in choosing the kind of person you want to deal with,
Yeah.
that could be it. Pero, alam mo, this will be beautiful in time. I'm hoping. Pero, yun lang, sad kasi nga we started in wrong.
The wrong foot, yeah. And hopefully moving forward, you know, wag din tayo masyadong balat sibuyas when there are comparisons and critiques.
We
Because
try to
that's
kasi kami
really-
tamo,
that's,
ang
you know,
tagal namin bago nagsalita. Dahil hindi
Oo.
naman, inaral namin ni Jess muna yung
yung sitwasyon. Oo.
at tinignan namin kung ano nangyari. But
And
ako kasi,
late-
based on work, yun,
Oo.
nakita ko dahil an ad agency in Manila wants to
Oo.
work with her, with Heart. And they say that they're choosing Heart versus another person. Not Pia, but a different one. Because if you check down at the comment sections, when they both went to, okay, there's this country that sponsored them at one point, but when they checked the comment on Heart, saan ka pumunta? I wanna be there, I wanna buy there, where did you shop? I wanna see this place. The other one is, uy, ang ganda mo, ang cute mo, bagay sa damit mo. Yun.
Yeah.
So, yun yung translation. So, doon namin natutunan. So, in ad speaking, sana ganun yung makita niyo sa web.
Yes. And I think also, later on, I will be posting kasi may naghamon sa atin na show the numbers. So, I am going to
Yeah.
show you the numbers later
Yes,
on
the numbers.
with the, because if you are going to, let's say, compare based on EMV, hindi nagkakalayo ang numbers nung dalawa, ni Pia and ni Hart. However, when you are talking about the number of shows that they are invited to, the number of brands that they are partnering with during the
lamang si Heart.
ang daming there's a huge difference in metrics there. And
At
then
nauna ta si Heart sa Paris na 2 days, no?
so there's a lot of if you're going to ask me with the numbers, I will be posting the numbers a little bit later on.
At
I'm just
saka,
polishing,
she's also
you know.
attending the exclusive dinner with the Maisons. I think that
There is an invitation, I believe, for Dior for Dior there.
For Schiaparelli to make a dress for you. That means a lot.
Yeah. So I think this conversation is largely a conversation that needs more finesse in understanding.
At saka kailangan, hindi ka lang makikipagbardagulan just
Oo. Because you felt slighted. This is a conversation where intelligence matters and understanding what the metrics mean, what they are telling you, because there are metrics that would only, like for example, the EMV, the earned media value by Lefty, only covers social media, specifically Instagram. There are metrics like launch metrics that covers not just social media but mentions by online and print media.
And social listening. Ewan ko familiar kayo sa app ng Meltwater for the ad people. It's an app that measures all of the positive mentions, negative mentions, and the overall social point of view towards a brand personality or an event. So, makikita nyo rin doon how's the difference between the two. If it's centered towards a personality, meaning pro-Pia lang ba yung concern, or pinupuri niya ba yung mga damit niya, or, as example, the Fendi shoot. If you look at the comments, it's about, ang ganda mo, ganyan damit mo, ganda mo, ganyan. Pero nobody said, oh, I found this in there, I bought this, I have this dress, it looks good on me. Wala na yung nakita solicit na ganun.
Yeah.
So, yun lang, yung Angel Nova Bugler lang.
And also, you also have to look at mentions by print and online media dahil you would see people like Vogue Italia, Glam Singapore, or whatever. There's Vogue Italia and mentioning, you know.
Vogue Ukraine, British Vogue.
I don't have the full metrics yet with
The
me.
W Magazine Korea, those are the mentions she had. Bazaar, Singapore, has always been a collaborative partner. Two Singaporean magazines are difficult to crack. Para
Yes.
maging cover po kayo, napakahirap. Yun.
And there are
Ang dami.
madami pa. So these are not just, you're only looking at just one metric. So we need to, we need to look at more metrics before we can really gauge what the effectivity is. Kasi yun yung
si Loyal
yun
Fan
yung-
99 said, isn't there enough room for two? Well, sabi namin, pwede.
Pwede.
Pero if you do things right, you will solidify your...
Okay, here's the mentions on a card.
Okay. Oh,
Vogue magazine, I mean the US Vogue,
US
you
Vogue.
have
Singapore
Vogue Singapore, you have Japanese Vogue, Vogue Italia, British Vogue, Vogue Ukraine, LUSA, L Japan,
Glamour
South Africa, Fashion Canada, WWD, which is the Bible for merchandisers in the industry. And then you have Women's Wear Daily.
Ayoko kasi there's a Filipino brand that follow their like it's a big market. Basta makita niyo yan, www, makita mo yan elsewhere.
And then you have Le Officiel, Singapore, Vanity Fair Italia, Vanity Fair France, and Numero magazines. And these are really big name magazines. Not here in the Philippines, obviously, but in Europe and other markets. So
That's where influence stays. And I think it's also nice to have a good publicist.
Yeah.
Maganda rin. I think because Heart transition to a Parisian house, no, so there may representative siya doon.
And there was this report. I have the number here. Wait, let me just open again my.
Dami resibo.
Siyempre, kinakailangan may resibo tayo. Okay. When it comes to the Paris Haute Couture Fashion Week, in terms of the media impact value, which measures not only social media but print and online media who covered Heart's presence at the Haute Couture Week. It was mentioned that for only 11 posts or 11 articles, her value in terms of marketing impact value is 1.27 million. Ibig sabihin, 11 posts earned, the eyeball that is worth 1.27 million. And that's only for the Haute Couture Fashion Week. The second Asian personality that was close to her number is Urvashi Rautela.
Oo.
So, ibig sabihin, naungusan pa niya si Urvashi in terms of MIV value. So, that tells you the kind of power that Heart Evangelista wields.
Well, at the end of the day, she is a legit and original it girl.
Oo.
And
So,
okay na naman yun to inspire everybody and
So,
follow.
it doesn't make sense that there are fans who demean her for being short, for being whatnot.
It doesn't help. Pag
It doesn't
gawin.
help
Kasi
because it's
matatrack yun na negative yung fan bases, makita sino na follow, no?
yes. So it's not, it's not helping the case. It's not helping the image of Pia. So yun
So
lang.
I think right now we've covered all the feuds. We're settled.
Yeah.
Wala kami piniling side sa MUPH. We just see look bigger because the feud is bigger. Wala namang feud. Actually, it's a healthy competition.
Yeah.
Diba? Kunan versus Paula, of course, we're pro Paula kami.
Yeah.
Sabi mo pro Kunan. We love that. Let's all support the sides as long as it's fair and founded. But for the fashion industry, I think we know that na talagang meron talagang linya para sa lahat. So, we're hoping for more people to join the ranks, but until then, we give credit where it is due.
Yeah. So, that's our live stream for
For
today.
medyo mapayapa yung...
At saka mahaba ang discussion natin today, no?
Lagi naman mahaba ang discussion natin. May pre-pageant opener pa si Jason. When Binibining Pilipinas officially kicks off and launch their official 60 candidates this year.
They say they're gonna go for
the
60th
60th anniversary.
But then again, what I've heard, it's going to be on July.
It's going to be in July. Of course, because Miss International is still going to happen later this year. Yeah. So marami-rami pa tayo ngayon. And
if it were me, I would rather that they do it towards the end of July going to August.
Interesting. Never pa tayo nagkaroon ng August pageant, no?
I think July, August, it's supranational.
Miss Universe happened once.
but
Diana Mendoza, I think, won in an August pageant.
Yeah.
Ano ba? For MEP, it's gonna happen summer, no?
Yes, I think it's around May.
May. I think it's gonna happen in May. So, at least, bongga ang pageant season. So, our pageant opener will begin for Miss Universe Philippines.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
I know you have bets. May makita ko Roscoe daw is pro Christy, sa may pro Alexie. Supportahan nyo lang. Beef up nyo ng content. Mas marami, mas maganda.
And also, let's brace ourselves for Mexico because again, this is not a forgiving. It's not a forgiving venue for Filipinos.
Doon yung ibuhos yung galit nyo sa... Hindi naman namin sabi
Doon ibuhos yung support.
Support
na lang.
More than anything. Wala na tahimik pero lumabang ka na lumaban pag ito. Napaka Art introduced me the Udo Noodles lol way back pa in IG. Diba?
Oh my God. Diba?
Pero ako talaga nabaliw ko sa pabango kay Heart. Doon.
Ako, when I was doing my research, naloka ako doon sa gardenia niya, pero Bulgari to the nth level yung
sa ating diba? Nagbabagoong with all the Cartier.
Diba?
I could only wish I could wear that while cooking my adobo.
And then there was this interview with, I think it was with Mega Magazine, wherein nabanggit doon na yung Boucheron rings ng Bulgari, napamove niya.
Ilang milyon yung mga Boucheron na ganapin.
Exactly.
Is this recent event, yung golden background, she was wearing, I think it's a maroon gown. God, she's reportedly wearing $300,000 worth of jewelry. That's enough to buy me and my whole class. and pay a debt of like
Yeah.
quarter Filipino people. Yeah.
Oo.
Grabe. That's just the power of I mean, it doesn't happen overnight, no? We can only wish
Oo.
kahit kami gusto namin yung buhay niya. Pero syempre, support na lang tayo. And we
Yes.
hope everybody can have your own slice of the pie.
Yeah. And it's just finding your right market. Yun lang naman yun eh. It's not about who has the better fandom, who has the bigger numbers, who has more visibility.
Who's taller, who's more beautiful? Everybody's
Yeah.
beautiful.
It's again for the brands, it's going to be later on the girl who pushes the merchandise. That's it.
If you bring in the money.
If you bring in the money. So let's, as a fandom, let's work for that to happen. That yung mga sinusuportahan nating mga influencers, we buy into their lifestyle. Because it's not enough that we just buy into their social media. Hindi pwedeng hanggang social media lang yung value ng support natin.
Sarado na, dinify na po yan. Case closed na.
Okay.
Nga, away-away na yan. Kami, alam mo namin, gusto nyo windra. So, yun na yan.
So, yun. Any final words before we end?
Well, more than anything, again, thank you so much for having me here. This is such an amazing opportunity. Every time I'm here in Sashes, thank you also to the viewers and your ability to chime into the conversation healthily and responsibly because we really value quality followers in the platform. Ang ganda ang ganda ng usapan pag gano'n, di ba? Pagka maaayos din, kausap yung mga kinakausap.
Correct.
Yeah, and that's the power of reflecting the brand. Kasi kayo also, if you're being kind and being nice, maganda rin ang reflection sa Sashes&Scripts as the platform itself. So, continue supporting. You have more ganaps to spill, especially as the pageant season is coming to an opening.
So, on my end, I hope that this is going to be the last live stream that we're going to do on this topic, especially with the social media and with the influencer na topic because we want to move on. I will close this entire, this entire episode, this entire chapter with some final social media posts and blog posts.
Summarizing all that we discussed.
This coming week. And I do hope that when you read the articles later on, I will be giving, tidbits of ideas and tips in order to be an effective social media influencer and fashion influencer based on personal experiences and look at the challenges what these influencers have to deal with. So you need to support them and their content. I do hope that after this, saradong chapter na ito and we can all move on into the pageant territory na yun naman talaga yung ating madalas na pinag-uusapan. Ayan.
Well, we can expect everybody to be there, happy and supportive. Let's keep it that way.
Yeah. And I think that's it. We will try to have one more live stream this Saturday and we will be talking about one of the topic na hindi natin na-discuss today and that is how to save the Miss Universe brand.
Lord. We defined it, I think, now that Rolo Rocha is at the greater and more shots.
We're hoping for...
and I think that's the reason also why the leaked video happened also. I think somebody in the Mexican... Ako lang ito somebody in the Mexican side did Kun and dirty, honey. Somebody spilled the thing. Yeah. At kilala ni Kun and Paula. So, do your thing. Basta bigyan kami ng good show this year.
I think that's
Mexico.
That's the what's every pageant fan is asking, diba?
Gusto pa naman natin pumunta ng Mexico, no? Kasi wala ka kami pera pamilya ng Versace, pupunta pa ba kami ng US? Anyway. Take care daw. Thank you, Daniela. Thank you for joining the conversation.
Ayun. That's it. See you on Saturday, hopefully. And,
yes, mag-yoga pa ako. I'm gonna say bye.
And also, please, before we end, please subscribe to our channel.
Please.
Leave a like on our live stream.
Follow him on Sashes&Scripts on Instagram, Facebook. Conversation is different on each platform, so don't miss out. And of course, on YouTube, most importantly.
Yes, and have a great weekend.
I think it's
Thursday. It's a weekend. It's Thursday. One more day. So let's have a great weekend, everyone, and see you again in our next live stream. Bye, everyone. Oh, ayaw niya. Ayaw niya tayong
Ay,
patigilin.
patigilin. Go.